ETFs have been exploding in popularity in Canada, and it's not hard to see why with us having some of the highest mutual fund fees in the world. In this video, I'm going to break down Vanguard VCN, which is one of the most popular ETFs in Canada today. Hey, what's going on? It's Chris here from Wealth Awesome. I've used several ETFs in my investing career, and Vanguard offers some of my favorite ETFs. The asset management firm uses its profits to lower the fees for its investors, and it operates essentially like a nonprofit. Vanguard's ETFs, like VCN here, simplify investment for Canadians. And let's take a closer look at this ETF. Let's start with what is VCN. So VCN is a low-cost index fund that Vanguard Canada started offering since August of 2013. It is one of Canada's most popular funds, and it has a massive $4.1 billion worth of assets under management as of July 2021. All right, so what does VCN invest in? It's a fund that seeks to track the performance of a broad Canadian equity index called the FTSE Canada All Cap Domestic Index. VCN uses its funds to directly or indirectly invest in small, mid, and large cap stocks of companies operating domestically in Canada. The fund employs a passively managed strategy that tries to fully replicate, to the extent possible, the performance of Canadian companies. It uses cost-effective and efficient index management techniques to track performance. It's an excellent passive investment solution for investors who want to leverage domestic Canadian companies' performance across various market capitalization ranges. It provides diversification across all sectors of the Canadian economy. Its performance depends on the overall performance of many different companies. The FTSE Canada All Cap Domestic Index that Vanguard VCN tracks is considered to be an excellent measure of Canadian companies' performance across the board. Vanguard uses a rigorous process to screen, evaluate, and select its benchmarks to provide best-in-class ETFs. And VCN has a diversified portfolio of equities, but it has a significant weighting of companies in the financial sector. VCN sector weighting. While many benchmarks include assets diversified across sectors and different countries, VCN follows the FTSE Canada All Cap Index. So that means VCN comprises only of Canadian companies, and there's a good mixture of companies across various sectors in this ETF, from financials to healthcare. And here's a look at how Vanguard VCN allocates the funds in this graphic here. As you can see from the weighting, VCN allocates almost a third of its funds to the financial sector. The basic materials and oil and gas sectors come right after that. The healthcare sector gets the least weighting in the fund, with only 0.8% allocation of VCN funds, which makes sense because Canada doesn't have a lot of healthcare stocks. Besides being more inclined toward the finance industry, VCN offers plenty of diversity to investors in different sectors. VCN MER. VCN has a very low MER of 0.05%, and this is a very impressive figure considering that the average mutual fund fees in Canada are usually higher than 2% per year. VCN also has a lower MER compared to many other ETFs like VFV, which has an MER of 0.08%. The much lower fees is a huge reason of why Canadian investors are flocking to ETFs and leaving mutual funds in droves, and I believe will continue to do so in the next decade or so to come. VCN dividend. So as of the close on August 4th, 2021, 12-month trailing yield is 2.59%, and it pays a quarterly dividend. That's a pretty decent dividend for an ETF, and it provides some income if that's what you're looking for. So here's the VCN performance. You can see from this chart below that it does its job. It basically mirrors the benchmark for Canada, and because it's been so strong in the past couple years, and it has had some decent growth. VCN holdings. So VCN invests in 188 Canadian stocks currently trading on the TSX. The top 10 holdings of Vanguard VCN show a decent level of diversity in the companies across various sectors. Despite its weighting veering more towards the financial sector, the top holding for VCN is actually Shopify, which is a tech company that all Canadians are probably well aware of. The rest of its top holdings consist of several top Canadian banks, oil and gas companies, and even a gold-related company. Its top 10 holdings make up almost 40% of its net asset value. Some investors might not like the lack of geographical diversity in VCN, and many other ETFs are also exposed to, say, US companies or other countries, but indirectly, you're getting access to other countries as well, because its top 10 holdings show that the ETF provides investors with exposure to leading companies that have operations all around the world. For example, Shopify is one of the fastest growing companies in the country, and it's the most significant holdings for VCN and has buyers from all over the world that use this product. RBC and TD Bank are also long-standing companies on the TSX, but they also have operations in America as well. So you actually are getting exposure to not just Canada, but with other regions as well. So how to buy VCN ETF? My favorite way to buy ETFs right now are from Wealthsimple Trade, and they just recently came up with $0 commission buy and sells for ETFs, which no other company does that in Canada currently. And if you'd like, there's a $50 sign up bonus in the link below if you contribute at least $150. So what are my thoughts on VCN? I would highly recommend this fund. It is a simple and effective fund offered by Vanguard, and it's also a low-cost ETF that focuses on the best of the best for Canadian companies. Overall, I just think that it's an excellent way to get a very low-cost access to the Canadian market. Great for beginner investors and experienced investors alike. If you're tired of picking stocks or you just want to have a simple ETF to set and forget, this can be a great addition to your do-it-yourself portfolio. You can combine this with a fixed income ETF, for example, to get a nice portfolio that could match your investor needs. All right, so since you made it this far, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future tips. Also, be sure to check out the blog, wealthawesome.com, which is one of Canada's leading personal finance blogs. And it goes into this topic in way more detail. I have dozens of articles about ETFs. So make sure you check it out. And as always, thanks for listening.